Yeah, sure, it will be a pleasure.
Okay. Oh, I can advance it. I see here. So just a word on FlashStart. We are a European-based specialist in cloud-based filtering, and this webinar is going to specifically focus on our relationship with the MikroTik router, though we're going to cover some broader aspects as well. Really, we work with anybody's routing technologies. We're filtering at the moment more than 1 billion clicks a day, and we block automatically more than 350,000 malware sources, malware born from the internet, coming out of URL sites and these kind of things. So we're getting increasing amount of coverage around the world in terms of our capability. We're a medium-sized player. We like to think ourselves as young and hungry, but really we want to be innovative, and we literally plow all of our money back into development and extending the service capability worldwide. Okay, so we're big enough to be credible. We're small enough to be hungry.
David.
Yeah. Yes, please, Francesco.
Quite young. Thank you for the young, but I think we are quite young.
Okay. Just moving on. We have no direct sales channel at all. We only sell by dealers, by distributors, by ISPs. So when you work with us, there is no possibility at all of any competition coming directly from us. We will support you, provide you very good pricing, and help you to access your customers, whether they actually be resellers in a distribution chain or end users directly. Okay, so it's a very clean and simple strategy we have. Now, I'm just going to pause here about the problem solved by FlashStart, because the title of this webinar series today was "Who doesn't need a web filter on MikroTik?" And it might sound like a bit of a simplistic statement, but it's incredible just how important content management itself is. There are so many things that are bad from the internet now, apart from ransomware and those kind of threats, and I'll come back to that in a second. But just consider the third point in the slide. There are 23 billion visits to Pornhub in 2016. There are 7.5 billion people on the planet. Okay, so we're talking, more than 3 visits per every man, woman, and child on the planet. It's an awful lot of visits to Pornhub, and there's a very simple link between that and the need to take porn out of all sorts of public environments, work environments, of course. And it's a simple example. But look at the first point on this slide. Internet addiction is becoming increasingly an issue. Obviously, it's more established in gaming, and recently, I'm in the UK. Gaming has become defined as a mental condition which requires. Is looking even within the UK Health Service to receive treatment. But there are addictions here around classic things like gambling, like porn, but also in terms of social media. And that has an impact on workplace productivity. And you're going to see that grow. And simplistically, you will find within many areas employees concerned about distractions in the workplace and how that can be managed. And we certainly have an excellent solution for that, and many use cases. A fourth point, I think, speaks very clearly about blocking illegal things like pedophilia. We do that as a matter of course. And I don't think this fifth point needs explaining at all about terrorism. The last point down here, just to be clear about that, it's relating to the very obvious problem of streaming videos and the impact that can have for SLAs of everyone else and solutions, especially in the public environment, to that. And this is just a small list. There are so many other reasons for deploying this. And the key question why sometimes this does not come to the top of people's list is that people assume it's going to be expensive. So let me just be very clear. This is an extremely affordable technology with no need for any investment in software or hardware. Often when people start to look at our pricing, they assume it's a monthly fee when it's a yearly fee. It's extremely reasonable. So I ask you to engage, with us to look very closely, and we believe you'll find and service a very clear market with this the service we have, and we're doubling in our business about every 9 months. So something's right. So please join us. Okay, let's progress. A quick word on GDPR. Within the European community here, we all have to some extent an understanding of this privacy regulation we have for compliance. And for those listening outside of the European Union, this morning, this afternoon, this evening, and I know there are some with us, so you're very welcome. This is defining privacy and good practices, and so it is a good thing also to be associated with a technology that is protecting end user information, is protecting leakage of that information, and allows management to good privacy standards. Okay, it will help for those in Europe. It will help to implement the GDPR standard as well through compliance. And while we do store information, as we'll talk about a little later, we store 6 months of information. It is consolidated information, and in the GDPR compliance implementations, you do not break the regulation in terms of personal data. Okay, it's a really important point. So I'm not going to say more on that. It's a huge topic, and we do specialist webinars around this actually.
David, just a point on GDPR, because in Italy, in Germany, and in the Netherlands and in Spain, it's really a big problem to maintain privacy and freedom in company networks. GDPR GDPR is a problem to be managed for IT administrator, for companies, and for school, and for governments. But for dealers, for IT operators, and for reseller, it might be seen as an opportunity to sell what? Security, backup, antivirus, content filter. I suggest to start seeing GDPR as an opportunity for our channel, for the whole channel.
Yeah, thank you for that. Okay, so let's move on. That is a particular topic, and you'll find more on this coming up in further webinars. This is predominantly going to be a technical session today, and so we're going to move on more into that area. Firstly, a word about the general fit between MikroTik and FlashStart. MikroTik is a low-cost, value-oriented, highly technical, highly flexible technology, and we have designed and built FlashStart also as a low-cost, highly flexible, advanced technology. So they have a kind of natural fit even at that level. And as those of you who may have tested this, we have consistent feedback about the ease of setup, the excellent manuals online in multiple languages. It literally is 5 minutes to set up. There's no jailbreaking required at all. And about 15% of our installed base is MikroTik, okay, which is a huge segment of it. So the MikroTik technologies are within our lab, and it's a primary testing platform and regression testing platform, so you can run and deploy this with confidence, okay. And we're going to say, I will say a few more words about that as we go forward. The network itself, because this is a service, it's not software, we configure with the routing platform, MikroTik or others, into our global Anycast network. It's an Anycast network, meaning that within the governing bodies who run the internet, we are we're able to announce a network that with a primary and secondary IP address is accessible to multiple locations from any point on the planet, and that allows us, by building also redundancy at each of these access points, to provide a highly available telco grade quality low cost network. Okay, now we are always expanding our network. Right now, I think tomorrow we open in Sydney. Joburg's opening any moment now, later this month, or latest very early December, and the Bolivian data centers coming online as well very shortly. So we're opening through various access points in the States as well. Here in Europe, we have Frankfurt, Milan access as well, giving us excellent peering and very low latency in this region. I'd encourage you to look at our programs here. We're investing significantly in this, and we want to bring you an excellent low latency, high reliable experience, and that's what we believe we're delivering today and what we want to continue to deliver. So I'm going to take it down level now, and just because we have many professionals very familiar with MikroTik, I want to just put up 3 slides about setup here. Okay, and as you enter the MikroTik environment to interface with our FlashStart cloud, it's really 3 steps. And apologies, I see this slide is quite small, but nonetheless, I've ringed here on the main MikroTik menu into IP, into DNS settings, and then up here the 2 IP addresses, DNS IP addresses to be entered for configuration. They go in. Step 1 is then complete. Step 2. Step 2 is the script. As you can see here, system script labeled in red, and then you cut and paste in the standard script. Other scripts are available for multi-site setups and what have you, and our support organization, support@flashstart.com, will help you with that. You'll also find lots of other scripts and materials available online to help you run this, okay? But it's a simple cut and paste. That's step 2 complete. Step 3 is then implementing the scheduler to run the script as the router boots. Again, a simple step. And that's it. Router setup is complete. You're then able to use that filter, and it will automatically redirect DNS packets to the FlashStart cloud, and the FlashStart cloud will determine if the users are able to access that website or not. And remember, it's a DNS packet, so it's only the first packet that checks against the security policy. The data packets feed down, and that packet will sit in cache as well if there's a local cache for the policy of implementation. So this is a fast, efficient, light technology, which is easy to deploy. Okay, fully documented setup in our many help pages here, and you see it as one of many routers. If you don't see the routers that you need for your business, just ask us. You can find the generic guide at the top, but we're always looking to add additional routers into our setup procedures here to help you get the most out of the FlashStart service. So let's actually dive out of this a second, and I'm going to give a little demo. But Francesco, would you like to comment on something?
Just a question. There is a question from Francois. He is telling, can we set different access level? Yes. Later, David will explain how to split configuration into multiple access. For example, filtering policy for student, filtering policy for staff and for teachers. Yes, it is possible, but please wait 5 or 10 minutes. We will show by going live how to split filtering profiling in multiple for multiple users type.
Okay. So Francesco, I'm just going to try and share my screen here.
Yeah.
I've gone back to okay.
Okay.
I have a little webinar
No problem.
glitch. Can you
Try
help me with that?
again. Try. Okay. Try open up. You should have open up in your screen.
Okay, it's not popping up.
Okay. If you want, I can share my screen, David, if you want. Okay. Do you want me to share my screen for you?
Yeah, let's do it that way.
Okay. It's connecting mine. Okay. Can you see my screen right now?
Yes.
Okay. Let me enter Skype session.
Okay. So Francesco's just logging into the portal. You access our service through a portal. Everyone has their own private area, and yeah, let's just run that in English for this this
Yeah,
webinar.
better. Yeah.
That's
David,
great.
David, for the moment, Italy 1, Great Britain 0. My connection works.
Oh, you know, yeah. Okay, so this is one of our test accounts
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Um,
We have a lot of fun in the company. The company
yeah,
is
here we go. Here we go.
pretty young and pretty
Okay, so do you want to just
nice
close
to work
down
with.
that little pop-up window there? There we go. That's better. That's better. That's better. And maybe just make the screen a little bit bigger here.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So Francesco's actually brought us up to the main filtering domain where we actually ended by seeing a kind of a summary here of reports and what's been blocked, what's been allowed. Just go down a bit. The green's allowed. You can see geolocation of where users have been. At the bottom, you can actually see malware that's been detected over this particular period you're looking at. But just before we go to reports, let's just go back up the top, and you'll see the customer here as my IT service company. Okay, right at the top, and it has a profile associated with it called operations. And within the MikroTik world, any single router will support up to 5 different profiles here. So we've got a profile we're calling operations right now, and if we click into yeah, there we see some other profiles: headquarters, Wi-Fi, branches, management team, and such like. But just head to the left, Francesco. Let's click on lists first, can we? Lists on the top tab. Yeah, that one. So yeah, this is now opening up, and we're looking at lists that are associated with operations. So this is a standard way that we've defined operations. And if we see here 11 macro categories, and if I click on dangerous, just open up the drop-down menu there, we can see that we can touch and enable, disable things like file sharing, gambling, malware, just at the touch of a simple button. Okay, it's as easy as that. And for those of you who've played with other technologies like this, we're not entering any IP addresses, none of that nonsense. We've made it really simple. So let's just roll back up the dangerous button there. Okay, so you can click any of these headings and block the entire categories, but just under social networks, we have a yellow button called under the scheduling heading, and if Francesco opens that one up, you'll see that we have the possibility to block for times of day and days of the week, and the red boxes indicate that all social networks are blocked at the moment between 9 in the morning and 12:30, and 2:30 and 6 o'clock. So this is about removing distractions from the workplace within the particular profile called operations. There's no reason why the marketing department can't have access to social networks while they're being declined access within operations. Okay, so this is a really nice feature. Okay, let's just close that a second, Francesco. Okay, and I'm just going to go down to the bottom now into whitelists. So you'll see three boxes here: blacklists, whitelists, and safe search. So within whitelist, let's just put in Facebook.com. And you'll notice on the right-hand side we've got always running an advanced analysis button clicked. And so what we're going to do is whitelist within the social network Facebook.com, and let's run an analysis on that within our whitelist. And you'll see immediately it pops up to invite you to say, if you want to whitelist Facebook.com, don't you also want to whitelist the Facebook CDN and the Akamai.net and EdgeSuite.net, which are all part of the delivery function of Facebook.com? So this is, again, it's using the intelligence and de-skilling the operation for sensible whitelisting and blacklisting of how you want to manage access for your communities on the net. Okay, so just click the confirm button, and we'll see that they've automatically been populated into the whitelist there. Okay, and in fact, if the converse is also true, just try and delete EdgeSuite or Akamai.net within that. Okay, and if you just bring the that down, you can see that it's saying, hey, are you sure you want to delete Akamai.net, because you actually identified that as part of access to Facebook.com. So I'm drilling on a bit of detail here, just to illustrate some of the features we've thought through to help you implement this as a service, or your customers, end users, run it as their own service, because these are all important details. Okay, let's just go back down to the bottom of that screen again. So the blacklist, whitelist, I think is intuitive, and the last point, Francesco's just opened up safe search, which is something I think is important in many applications to take advantage of Google and Bing's own classification of sites. Okay, so that's all introduction for schools in particular. Yes,
it's very important because if you block, for example, Playboy, YouPorn, and so on, but you do not block the thumbnails in Google, kids and students will be able to search for nudity or for pornography by Google, and it will be quite embarrassing for the school headmaster. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So this is the classic screen for configuration. We do have a simplified version of this, which I'm not going to go into much detail now, but if Francesco just clicks on the, there we go, easy configuration, you can see that you can reduce this all to just 3 buttons: basic, medium, and heavy filtering, and these can be defined as standard categories.
For school student, I suggest medium. For school teacher, we suggest high, because sometimes some dealers told me that the main problem in school are coming from some teachers, not from some student. So that's the way we.
That's how things are in Italy, Francesco.
yeah.
Okay. What can we say? Right. Let's keep going. Let's go to geo-blocking now on the tab. So within the setup operations, you can define regions of the world and classifications of geolocating IP addresses which you want to allow a block. So there's 2 things already blocked on this. You'll see IP not defined, which is closely associated with malware and bad stuff generally. We blocked that. And satellite connections, for some reason, are also quite heavily reused for bad stuff. So there's 2 obvious things to block, providing you're not in the satellite business. But you can also choose to block particular countries, so there's no access where those websites are defined. By the way, each time a website is blocked, you're given presented with a small blocking screen, which is customizable very simply with your own logo and message. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's go to network now. Oh, okay, Francesco's just going to look at the block page. There's the block page in Italian, as Francesco's just stepped in to help me with the gremlins this morning. Thank you for that. That's fully customizable. Okay, let's go to the Francesco's just highlighting just how simple that is.
the blocking page by ear. You can change logo, you can change image, and you can change also your slogan.
Yeah, it really is that simple. Okay, let's just pop into reports actually next, because you kind of see the reports as you come into the system, and this allows you to pick a time period, and then for the time period set up reports. You can either create PDF files from those, email those out, or at the bottom of this screen here, go into a scheduling system which allows them to be delivered automatically. And there are many types of reports available. You can look at what's been blocked, what's been allowed, what's what's transiting dangerous sites. And in fact, if we go to malware threats blocked, actually, just to perhaps give a little bit more detail there. This is always quite an interesting report, and I'm just going to see what this morning's data mentions. So we're seeing here 3 particular instances of malware in this time period. Okay, it's got up to, what's that, 7 now. So we're seeing ransomware, NIMAIN. I'm not so familiar with NIMAIN. You get more detail if you click on these about where these threats are being sourced from and how that's being classified. So we see some AWS, Amazon stuff in there as well under bad stuff. That's fine. So the interesting thing here is that you've got a very excellent professional list, 350,000 sites blacklisted, which we sourced from a professional developer of this, and this is automatic. So it won't stop stuff that comes on email attachments. It won't stop people putting bad USB sticks in. You need a multi-level approach to security in so many ways, but this is an excellent line of defense from the network stuff coming in. Okay, so if you do free trials and tests and you're finding this in a network, people get very excited. Okay, let's go to network. Okay, so just to pause here. Yeah, this is where the actual setups are done. So we looked at a couple of screens earlier, but this is where you can dive into the manuals available in multi-language for setting up your particular router. And you see MikroTik, Cisco, Ubiquiti. There's a whole range of actual devices we support on here, as well as the general manual configuration for any particular router. So let's just close that window if you don't mind, Francesco. I just want to say a couple of words on this screen here. So within my IT service company, which is what we're looking at, that name at the top in the center there, I've defined 3 networks I'm managing. I'm defining bank branch at money.com, bank at money.com, the headquarters, and service company at gmail.com. So we're indexing these customers according to an email address. And then profile is the particular filtering profile we've implemented. So you can see that at bankatmoney.com, we've got 2 profiles on one router, one called headquarter Wi-Fi and one called management team. And you see also they're on different ports. Port 53 is one of those profiles, and port 143 is another. So we're reusing existing ports on the MikroTik for DNS. So 53 is obviously classic DNS, but 143, 5403, and others are unused, like 110. So we are defining those for DNS and setting profiles against them. That's how we implement this. And then we see the IP address just to the right of that, and we've got a green button, which means it's filtering okay, and we can see the last synchronization. So you've got some very nice information here at a summary level to see what's going on. The red dots show that these other 2 example networks aren't filtering. I could talk much more about this, but let's keep it going so as to give everyone a chance to feel. Just click on customers and licenses, would you? I'm skipping over the database where we have 6 months of data. Just take my word for that. Let's go back to customers and licenses. And this is the front end, which allows you to manage your pool of licenses and active customers. So we're seeing here 2 active trials. We provide free trials, And you can see one's called VM Test and one's called Dragon in GmbH, the German company. And you can see an expiration date in yellow for those. Some details that Francesca's opening up now. So these are customers who are trialing the product without paying in your account. And then if we just close that window back up, underneath that we've got active licenses. These are paying customers, financial service, company trial, Malaysian government. And you can see towards the right the numbers of users, the licensed, 1535, 1520, and 1200. And you can see expiration dates. And you can see a filtering status button as well, which shows that these indeed gives away this is a dummy account. Okay, the red filter status shows that these aren't filtering. An action is required upon that. Okay, so it's a nice summary information. If Francesco just navigates to the customer button up the top there, Francesco. Yep, customer. On the left-hand side.
Okay, customer.
So this thank you. This is the list of people who've actually registered, but haven't necessarily gone ahead and are actually filtering. Okay, so I'm going to explain why this is important in a second, and it all goes back to the ability to, or the need to help customers to trial the product for free, into an active trial, or register for free, proceed to active trial, and then buy the license. You're managing the life cycle. So keep that thought in mind as I progress in a second out of this online demo. On the left-hand side, we're not going to go into them, but we've got your pricing information, we've got resources, videos to help you utilize the product, and something called trial in the box, which I'll come to in a second. Okay, so Francesco, I think we've kind of gone through enough of the trial for the moment. Let's go back to the slides.
Okay.
If we just close that out. Okay. Okay, there we go. Let's go back. Just bring those slides up. Thank you. Okay, so selected use cases. You can see quite a few things here. I'm just looking through this, what I might not have mentioned. Under profiles, fourth point, we're introducing individual profiling for Microsoft Active Directory, Google Suites, and Radius coming early next year. Under that, operational, I just want to mention, because I wasn't explicit, this is a multi-tenant dashboard. So both the end user and the operator, if they are different, can access shared information such as filter setups, reporting, and make changes to that. There's some really nice features around mass router provisioning. So you can configure individual routers from a central point and roll those out very fast, rather than having to go to 50 or 100 routers and go through the individual setup. Some neat features we're leveraging in terms of integration with the MikroTik as well. Video streaming is an example. So we are not an appliance, and we're not trying to be anything that MikroTik is, or you know, any other type of router. We're within our niche here. So we leverage the features of the router, such as peer-to-peer application control within the router itself. And then underneath that, the last piece, integration, we provide SOAP APIs. At the moment, it's read. Write is coming shortly to write into changing, for example, filtering. And we do support filtering behind the NAT gateway into the private IP address space. Okay, so these are some of the more funky use cases, if I can put it that way. Just want to give you a sense of the possibilities we have developed and implement. There's lots of other things as well. Okay, so you know, work with us on that. I mentioned free trials every prospect. Here is what we call trial in the box. I mentioned that before. It's the ability to have a PIN code, which is assigned to the reseller or distributor, and it's locked. You give these away to your channel or your end users, and it's got a little information here about stop malware, remove bad content, filter, set up the filter in just a few minutes, and you've got safe internet. Okay, you can add your own branding here. Great for trade shows, but with many other applications as well. So here we see these kind of cards stuck to the sides of router boxes. If you're shipping out large volumes of these, once they arrive at the end user, or if you distribute to the reseller, they simply register this and get access to the free filtering for a period of time. And you'll see that pop up on your dashboard. The registration you saw, and then into the filtering, active filtering, again appears in your dashboard for tracking of this. Okay. Here's an example on Ubiquity as well. Okay, so you can imagine many different ways to use these. Here's one. We use ourselves at trade shows. We've got our brand on there, and on the back of this credit card, we've got the simple message, and apply a PIN number in the box there. Okay, so you can think of lots of different applications. I'm sure this is all free. Okay, ISP specific features. So for residential users or any application where you don't want to get into the more technical side of choosing content to block, you go for that 3-button example that Francesco showed in the demo. Blocks content, blocks malware, implements safe search, but none of your reporting customization. That's what we call light. And for ISPs in particular, this really resonates into the residential market. So I know we've got some ISPs with us on this call. So just consider this. We can avoid all of the router setup with the following process. You declare your ISP network once. You decide on 3 profiles. So we talked about the light or the basic, medium, and heavy. Decide the profiles. Decide how you want them for your community. And then we give you 3 different DNS IP addresses, and you just point the residential router at one of those profiles associated with what you want to give them. That's it. Profiling complete, setup complete. It's very simple, very light, very fast, and very inexpensive. About being a dealer, as I mentioned at the beginning, we only sell this to dealers. We're offering a low-cost service here, but with good margins. We want our dealers to make money out of this, and that's important for end users as well, because you can invest in a good service. We're providing the ability to integrate to your processes, whether it be through white labeling, the kind of trial-in-the-box examples I was talking about, renewals process. You've got some sense that this is built for help you either ship it out simply as a distributor, or input it as a service as a reseller, or pass it on to the end user if they wish to run it themselves. We fit into a lot of different models for operations and distribution. Pricing. So I've made a number of claims about our pricing being very reasonable, and it absolutely is. But let me just say a couple of other things here about the model themselves. So things like businesses, schools, universities, and not-for-profit are based upon the number of nominal users. So what's a nominal user? It's a person, not a device. It's a person who is nominally protected by the use of FlashStart in their internet environment. So for a school, it's the number of children and teachers. For a business, it's the number of people who are knowledge workers. Same with a charity. And they're priced slightly differently. Business, while the education is 80% cheaper than business, okay? Same for not-for-profit. Okay, so there's some tiered pricing. If it's public Wi-Fi, we've tried a number of models here, and our current model is pricing per meter squared. Okay, unlimited numbers of users and devices. For ISPs, we support a number of models here as well. For residential, we price per customer premise equipment. per month. Okay, so you could enter us on a very low number of residential households with a nice, inexpensive service and scale that up on a monthly basis. We never block excessive use of the ISP services. We simply consult it after a month and ask you to move up to the next number of CPE license models. For business-to-business ISPs, again, there are some different models there, but something that works per number of nominal users works very well in this. But we're not closed on different models. It's a market-specific thing. And residential, you can sell this to households as well on a very reasonable fee per year. It's priced per house, not per user, not per device. Okay, so it's a nice, intuitive model. Now, because we have different models, we have a quite an innovative way of helping you buy the licenses. So this slide talks specifically to the distributors and resellers today, not any end users who might be on this call. And so we actually sell to you credits, and we call them coins, flash coins. So you buy coins, and every single license is priced as coins. The only reason we are doing this is the more coins you buy, the cheaper the coin, and so we have the concept of volume discounts. And you as a reseller want volume discounts. You want to be rewarded for growing your business with us, but you don't want to buy into specific licenses for schools or a business or for public Wi-Fi and find yourself locked with stock that you then can't sell on the next deal. So you buy your coins, you buy as much of it as you need, and then you just allocate that as you need to buying different licenses. And you can see on the right-hand side here, schools, you can see businesses, you can see ISPs, and numbers of coins here, okay, that you can simply select from to get these particular licenses. Coins never expire. Coins can buy any license, renewals or new, okay? That's the program. So you would buy a pack from us of 250, 500, 1,000, etc. And the bigger the pack, the cheaper the coin. Okay, so we're really coming towards the end of the journey on this morning's webinar now. Becoming a reseller, is very simple. We're delighted to have you follow up on this, and we'll engage with you and help you make trials. We'll be delighted to help end users come to us as well and benefit, from this. And there's a little incentive coming in a second here. But just to mention, also word on the competition. We face three forms of competition here. The classic is other cloud products like OpenDNS, and really, we are a high value, low priced offer with an excellent service as well. So generically, you're going to find us something like about 75% cheaper than OpenDNS. Okay, you're going to find us much cheaper than firewalls because we've got no hardware install. Even if the customer has hardware, when we look at the typical pricing they have to buy the additional licenses to put in content filtering, malware blocking, we're even attractive for that. And then in the middle here, we have free products. That's an interesting one. So typically, these features are quite simple. They might be right for some applications, but they're never right for providing services. And even some pretty basic features tend to be missing. And it's interesting. So just about a week ago, 10 days ago, Norton have pulled out of this market with their ConnectSafe product. And we do pick up things around lots of false positives and issues around this. Okay, so buyer beware. You get what you pay for. When people look at our pricing, they say, actually, that's excellent value. But request your one-page competitive brief to find out more about this. Francesco, did you want to add something there? I just heard you come in.
Yeah, there is an important stuff because we send a DM last week about the Norton service interruption. I think right now the channel must trust on the pay services. I think right now free services are suitable for some period, but then, for example, as you have seen with Symantec Norton, the multinational company stop giving free service because it's not possible to research, to find blacklist, or to maintain the service. So it's important to find the best carrier providing content filter, I think, with a very competitive price. I think FlashStart is a very good balance between performances, features, and price. It's important that that FlashStart make you gain a lot.
Excellent. So I've just noticed a question actually in the chat box about is this price on a monthly basis or yearly? So most of the prices are yearly or 2 years or 3 years. When you go in the pricing, your online pricing, if you request that, you'll see that. We do ask you to take a short training course on the pricing before you enable your pricing. We just want to be sure you're clear about how the coins work. But that's literally 5 or 10 minutes with us. Just please be patient with us on that. The ISP stuff, the residential stuff's monthly. So I think common sense applies actually. We try and really align to the end use cases here.
Consider it is also possible to allocate license for 2 years and for 3 years. So if you start selling license to your customer, for example, for 3 years, it's also possible to allocate that kind of license for a period of more than 1 year. Consider when child licenses expire, the renewal is automatic, but dealers can cancel license until 5 minutes before expiration date. So it's very flexible. It's very flexible. Can I ask you a courtesy? It will be very important for us to improve our content and to improve our webinar, that you dedicate 3 minutes, 2 minutes. I think 2 minutes will be enough to fill our survey. It's very important for us to improve our service and to improve our offer. If you want, at the end, there is the possibility to ask for a custom trial and to ask for price list access for dealer, for your country, and for your market. The call that will arrive if you leave your phone number will be maximum 15 minutes, no more, without any obligation to buy, without any obligation. 15 minutes, if it is possible, to get in touch with us. Please fill in the form, and in case you will grant our sales managers to start a call with you, at the end we will give a free initial license pack, so you can sell to your customer, you can gain without any cost, and you can try and you can touch the benefit about using FlashStart for your market. There is a free license pack for you if you accept a 15 minutes call by one of our sales agents. Thank you for filling the interview. It's only 5. I would appreciate you to complete the interview. Thank you very much.
Okay, Francesco. So
if there are some questions, please type in the chat. We would be glad to answer your question. Consider our slide will be sent by email tomorrow, together with the video registration. So you will be able to watch again the video or if you want, you will be able also to share this content with your colleagues, with your friends into the social. If there are any questions, please feel free to type in the chat. We are here to reply. Really, it's a pleasure.
So we through all the slides then, Francesco? I think that was the
Uh,
final. I think there was one of the slides, the last one in the pack, just saying to invite
yeah,
questions. But
yeah. With
okay,
the gift,
okay. Well,
I would
look,
like
look.
to wait 3 minutes more to complete the survey.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, I see. Yep. So
thank
we
you very
do
much.
appreciate your attendees, and we're going to go through all the content feedback on this.
Who is missing the interview? Who is missing? Let me see if someone else is missing the interview. Let's leave David out 3 minutes to complete the interview. It's a very
Sure.
important
Thank you
step
for
for
that.
us. It's a very important
Thank you
step
for
for
that.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We often get ideas come in from a webinar community, our user base, asking for things, and we implement most of those. So we really appreciate that that feedback. And most of those we're able to implement very quickly as well. Within a few days, depending what it is, or a month or so. Things do move quite quickly because we're small and nimble. We're not a big Cisco. We're large enough to be credible, but small enough to get focused. So we hope we can find some opportunities with you to take out our service to your customers and help you resell and take advantage of lots and lots of things we do for free to brand up maybe your routers as you're shipping them out and allow people to test the service for free, and you sell those very easily.
And if I can add, FlashStart Partner Program is not only a way to sell our platform, but it's a way to cooperate together, since we receive many leads every day from all over the world, from a company, school, Wi-Fi area, a hotel, and so on. And we converge, we assign our opportunities to our dealers, because FlashStart doesn't want to sell directly to the market, but we wanna team up, we wanna catch up with you. So FlashStart will also pass some nice end user leads to the best dealers for every country. Being a best dealers, it's easy. Simply you need to give some feedbacks, to cooperate, and to involve FlashStart into your business. And the first point, the first step to become a good dealer is, for example, complete the interview here, the survey. It's really the most important step to become a good dealer. Thank you, because we appreciate your feedback or your critics. Perhaps sometime we can receive also critics.
So actually, let's mention the small gift we got now. Francesco, would you like to?
Yeah.
Lead on that?
Do you want? Okay. Do you want to come back, David, to slide?
Yes, please. Yes, please. So just to explain that we're very grateful for the possibility you've joined us today. So for everyone on the webinar, there's a 25% discount on all of our products, licenses, coins. It's the same thing, but you do buy coins from us as a reseller and licenses as an end user. And that's going through until 4th December. Okay, so when you look at the pricing, you'll see it's extremely reasonable, and we're going to give you a small pack for joining us today as a gift, and 25% discount on everything for signing up to get this underway. Okay, so just to remind you, coins never expire. They go into your account. They sit there, and you allocate the licenses as you need them. So let us know how we can help. We will be following up with you, provide the information, and
let me come back to the survey. Let's leave other 2-3 minutes to complete the survey, please. Thank you. Some other questions, some other feedbacks. I think everything is okay. Just to know, please type something if you want in the chat in order to acknowledge us about the content. I am seeing from the real-time reply that few people are using right now content and malware filter products, and most of you would like to receive some further information about FlashStart and about the reselling process. So by next days, we will be very glad to call you, to the people that left the contact in order to better explain something more and to give you prices for the channel, prices for your channel market. There are some questions coming in.
Yeah, there's a question coming in.
Yeah, so let's wait for a few minutes more. And for the moment, thank you for the patience, because everyone who entered initially the session has remained until now. So it's a very good feedback for us. It's really very good. There are three questions coming in. We are reading. Some users are typing. In the meanwhile, please take 2 minutes to fill the survey. It's important for us also, if you don't want to receive any call, but fill the survey to improve our webinar and to improve our time for future events. Okay, Françoise and Sikar are typing right now. Let's see the answer. I think it will be a quite long question. We are ready, no problem. We have also 10 minutes more here to fit your needs. Thank you. Let's see. Questions are arriving. Okay, so I did all configuration, but it's not working properly. Sikar, can you please send an email to support@flashstart.com? But Marco and Andrea and Philip, our technician, will get in touch with you. Sikar, okay. Sikar, can you please send an email to support@flashstart.com? And for the guys listening to the webinar, please get immediately in touch with Sikar to complete the configuration. Thank you. Francois, in my case, I'm the school IT administrator for Choose School in Malta. Nice place. Is it possible to have this system set up for the Choose School to MikroTik installed? Yes, it is possible without setting up system individually. Yes, it is possible, Francois, to share the same profile policy. It's possible also to deploy globally the Choose School as they would see a unique network. It is possible. Francois, can you please write an email to support so we can get in touch with you with a custom configuration for a multiple site school? Thank you, Francois. If you can give me a feedback, and we can get in touch with you as soon as possible to help you to complete the configuration. Thank you, Sikar. Thank you, Francois. Three people are missing the surveys. Please help us. Please fill in the form, and I think we are quite complete. If there are some other questions, please be free to type the question right now. If questions will come later, please use support@flashstart.com. David, Can we also leave our email? My email is collini@flashstart.com. David email is brebner@flashstart.com. David is the sales director and VP Global Sales. I am CEO and CTO for in FlashStart. I am talking from Italy. David is talking from UK, and we have also an office in Latin America, because this afternoon we will introduce FlashStart also for the Spanish market. We support totally Spanish market, English market, German market, French market, and Portugal market, and Brazilian market is coming by the end of the year. I can tell you this. Okay, please feel free to type any question right now, or feel free to use support@flashstart.com for any incoming questions. To receive the free license pack, simply leave your data and your phone number, your mobile or your office number. A sales representative will be in touch with you within the week to offer the free license pack for free. I will promise the call will be maximum 15 minutes long. Thank you. David, I think it's okay. By tomorrow, you'll receive a nice email with a coupon code to order with a 25% off discount, with the video and with the slide download. Thank you for the opportunity. Really, thank you. Cheers from Italy.
And thank you from myself. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your attention. Okay.
Okay, let's switch